What's up guys? My name is Alex and in today's video we're gonna take a look at how you can replace the battery on your Fitbit Alta HR. I did a video on the Fitbit Alta a while back, so I'll put a link in the description and up on screen right now if you want to check that out. I got a request in the comments to do one on the Fitbit Alta HR, so that's what we're gonna take a look in this video as the process is slightly different. Alright guys, so the first thing we need to do is to open up the Fitbit Alta HR. And in order to do that, I'll use just an X-Acto knife. Any flat piece of metal will do. And you just kind of have to slide it into where I'm showing you right now, in between where the screen and the body of the Fitbit is. And just wiggle it around a little bit until it pops open. It doesn't take too much force, so just be careful with it so you don't break off the tabs. After you have that open, you need to actually slide the screen of the Fitbit away from the body. And the screen is just glued in a little bit, so it just takes a little bit of force to slide it open. And be careful, on one side there's a ribbon cable, so you can just kind of open it up on that side and unglue it from the rest of the body. Now you can see the battery contacts right there. That's basically what we need to get to in order to replace the battery. Now I'm going to use a Torx T1 screwdriver bit, and because these screws are not torqued very tightly, you can just use the bit itself to unscrew them. And these are super tiny screws, so be careful not to use them, and don't use too much force when you're unscrewing them or when you're screwing them back in later. So I'm just gonna unscrew both of these screws in order to continue disassembling the Fitbit. Alright, so on the left side of the Fitbit, you can see these two metallic tabs. We need to clear those tabs in order to take the body of the Fitbit, or the motherboard of the Fitbit, out rather. But before we do that, we actually have to unplug this little connector that's right here. And that connector just kind of pops down on the motherboard. So in order to unplug it, you just kind of have to lift it up. Again, it doesn't take a lot of force. I just use the screwdriver to just gently go underneath it and then pull it directly up. Don't move it left or right or forward or back, just kind of move it upwards and it's gonna come loose. And then after you remove the ribbon cable, make sure to clear those metallic tabs by pulling the motherboard kind of away from those tabs. In my case, that's kind of to the right of the camera right now. And then you can see the battery underneath the motherboard. The battery is glued with some kind of double-sided tape. So you need to unstick the tape so that you can remove it. And I'm gonna use my flathead screwdriver to just unstick it. And that's how you disassemble it. At this point, you can replace the battery by just desoldering the old battery and soldering a new one. Make sure to remember where the contacts go. Or the red one is the positive wire, the black one is the negative wire. If you mix those up, that's going to be a problem, so make sure to remember where each wire goes. I'm not actually going to desolder it in my case because this Fitbit does not need a battery replacement. I just wanted to do it to show you guys and make this video for you as an instructional video to replace the battery. So after you solder in the new battery, you can put some double-sided sticky tape again, just so you can solder it, put it back in the Fitbit. You can put it back in the bottom. We're just gonna do everything in reverse order now. So you fold the motherboard again on top of the battery. Make sure the contacts of the battery, the red one and the black wire, are not mixed up. Put the battery underneath the tabs on the left side. The screen came down at this point. You still don't need the screen down. You need to align the motherboard so that the holes for the little screws or the threadings are actually visible, so that you can put the screws back in. Again, I want to note these are super tiny screws, so don't use too much force, don't tighten them too much. It's a Torx T1, again, as I said before. You may or may not want to connect the little ribbon cable beforehand. In my case, I didn't. I'm gonna connect it afterwards so that the motherboard doesn't move and stays still, and I can just connect it easily afterwards. So I'm just gonna tighten these screws a little bit. No force required at all. It's not like it's gonna disassemble or anything like that. Everything's gonna be fine. Excuse that the camera is not focused at this point, but I'm just screwing down those tiny little Torx T1 screws. All right, so after the screws are tightened, now you can pop that connector back in. And again, remember, the way you disassemble it is you pull it up. To pop it back in, you literally just press it down on where the connector goes. Don't move it sideways, don't move it up or down or anything like that. You just push down on it, and you can actually hear a tiny little click when this connector goes into place. And I'm just lightly pressing down with my screwdriver to make sure that it's popped in correctly. Again, it's easy to note when this is incorrectly because you can hear a tiny little pop. And then you just fold the screen over again, just lightly pushing on it so that the sticky tape underneath can kind of catch itself on the underside of the screen. And then you can just pop the cover back on, and basically you're done. Just kind of squeeze it until that gap is gone and it's kind of properly sealed. And that's it. That's how you replace the battery in your Fitbit Alta HR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped somebody out there. Consider liking if you did. And until next time, peace.